Hey everyone, this is week 9 of the Ishmael book, reading chapters 4 through 6. These chapters really talked about how your story really grows into who you are, but does that really show who you are, and can you really blame that as like a moral blame? As we talked about before we started reading this book, does your environment affect how you grow up and who you are going to be? And I think this is really similar to it. For example, in the book, Ishmael was telling us about if you're growing up to be an animal, how would that look living in the wild? Let's say you were a frog, how that looks every day, looking out for predators or ravishing food. So it's really different. Like, how can you picture that? But I'll go along with a human, with how you're growing up with different stories. You still have a free will. I mean, it's not like someone's forcing you to live like that. But you also have personal choices and personal growth, and you have critical thinking that makes you who you want to be. Of course, what story you're given gives you ideas on how you're going to live, but you can also differentiate and decide how you want to act on them. Such as how stories shape you as a person. Yes, it can shape me on who I want to be, what career path I want to follow, how I want to live my life. Talking about, rules, regulations, boundaries, habits. All of those affect how you're going to live. But it doesn't push you on who you're going to be. Next is blame. You're not taking the blame for how you grew up because of situations that were given to you, right? Grew up poor. You can't blame that on what you choose to be. Yes, it can affect how much education and how much it really affects you, but you can't use that as a barrier, as a cane for the rest of your life. They also talked about it definitely like shifts you towards how you're going to grow up and how you're going to sustain life, but it's not a crutch on who you are. A quote that stuck out to me this reading was, "There is no formatting for tomorrow." The way I interpreted that is, just because you had a awful day today doesn't mean you have an awful day tomorrow. You can change how the day is going to start. You're going to change how it's going to end. You can't predict what's going to happen, So how I live my life, I just learn from my mistakes. I grow from it. So there's no really set path for anything. If I choose to do something different tomorrow, I will. But yeah, I really liked this chapter just because it followed what we were reading and learning about before this book. So I like how it just ties in all to each other. So yeah, thanks guys.